Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of AndrewsFootball.com. And before I get into the actual content of what I want to make this video about, I want to bring up why should you follow AndrewsFootball.com. There's two reasons, really. Number one, unlike a lot of other sites that you'll see on YouTube that are saying, hey, I predict this, I predict that, I'm actually taking my hard-earned money to Vegas, and I'm actually going to go ahead and invest my hard-earned money on these investments, teams that I predict to make the over-unders on. Some I'm going to make predictions on to make the playoffs. Some teams I'm going to make predictions on to win the division. Before the season starts, I'm actually going to make predictions known. I'm going to go ahead and make another video once I get to Vegas, and I'll let you know what I'm investing my hard-earned money on and what you should invest your hard-earned money on. Let's say you're not a gambler, you're just a fan of the NFL. Use this site, AndrewsFootball.com, as a way just take advantage of my encyclopedic nature of the NFL. Some people like art, some people like music, some people like cars. I like football. I eat, sleep, breathe the stuff. I can't get enough. Recently I had my fantasy football draft, and never fails, somewhere around rounds 8, 9, or 10, somebody come up to me, hey Dan, who do you like? Because everybody knows what you should do in rounds 1, 2, or 3, but it gets into nitty gritty. That's when people start asking the expert about what's going on. Am I an expert on fantasy football? Absolutely not. But as far as the NFL is concerned, you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who knows more about football than I do, unless you coached or played in the NFL. I basically can educate you on the NFL, and I definitely can educate you on how to properly invest money. For example, I have a friend of mine, he's like, yeah man, he's coming to Vegas with me, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna put $500 down on the Chiefs. Who are they playing? Well, lesson number one, if you don't know that the Chiefs are opening the season at New England, do not put money down on the Kansas City Chiefs. That's number one. Don't do it. But luckily he has me with him. I'm the expert. I told him, hey look, right now New England is a 7-point favorite. It's a good spread, so I'm not sure we should take it. But once we get there, it's going to be a video I may make before the season starts, how to bet the Kansas City-New England game. But that's one reason why you should follow me, is because I'll be able to not only give you a lot of knowledge about the NFL, but I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And reason number two is that if you go to a lot of other sites, or if you're on Twitter and you follow anybody who's trying to make predictions, they'll show you all the right ones. It's an old Daniel Negreanu trick. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name too bad, but if you follow him, it's Kid Poker. I read his book, and he says, never let people know when you lose. Even friends and family don't even follow poker. You want to create an aura. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and just put the statistics out there. Everything that you see is going to be on my site, going to be on my blog. You'll be able to see how I'm right or how I'm wrong. That's another reason why you should follow me, is because a lot of sites are going to tell you, hey man, follow me, I got this game right, I got that game right. No, I'm actually going to show you my mistakes as well as my victories, and I guarantee you I'm going to have more things right than I'm going to have wrong. But the meat and potatoes of this video is how the general betting public is disagreeing with me on almost half the teams. Now keep in mind, the market is extremely volatile right now. The New York Giants, as a matter of fact, I'm making this very late Monday. If you go to Westgate's app, you won't find the New York Giants over-under even listed. You have 31 teams, and that's due to Odell Beckham injury. More than likely, it'll have that back Tuesday. The Giants went from 8.5 to 9. General betting public was split at -110. If you don't know what that means, when you bet $100, and if something's at -110, it means that you have to bet $110 to win 100. Conversely, Baltimore is, for the over, is plus 130. So if you bet $100, you would win 130. The under for Baltimore is -150. It means you have to bet 150 to collect 100. Well, what does this mean? It means a lot of people are predicting Baltimore is not going to cover 8.5. It was at 9, now it's 8.5. And this is a big change, and this is going to change quite a bit. But I'm just doing this as of today, right now, which is roughly 2:05 a.m. August 22nd. So there's going to be a lot of changes, and I'm going to make another video documenting some of the changes. But I'm going to go over Baltimore and the rest of the teams that I disagree with Vegas. I'm not going to go into super in-depth detail, but Baltimore's a little new, and the reason why is Flacco's not playing in preseason. Mallett's looked so-so. I strongly suggest this was not a team I was actually going to invest in. I like Baltimore. I like the 8.5. I think they're a wild card team, but 100 to win 130. I feel pretty solid about covering 8.5. That may change. The next team I disagree with, Buffalo at 6.5. Action's now going towards over. The reason why Buffalo made some trades, traded away a couple of their starters. They're stockpiling draft picks for next year. They already have Kansas City's first round pick. Now they have additional second and third. I could go into a lot of detail about Buffalo. This may be something I change. I still feel like they could pull out 7-9, 8-8. But I did change Miami when they went from 7.5 to 7. I was tempted to make that push. I like the over on that now. I'll touch base with that in a bit, because right now Miami is right now negative 110 for both, so that they're not included. But I still like Buffalo covering 6.5. I'm iffy on that one though. Two teams I've been very solid on that general betting public has disagreed with me for almost the last 2 months, and that's Carolina and Chicago. Carolina's at 9, which is a very high number. He went 6-10 last year. Cam Newton's not even playing in preseason. I really don't feel like I get why the public's so high on Carolina. I don't think they're going to cover 9. I think the other 3 teams in the South have all gotten better. So why the public's high on Carolina, I don't know. I will admit, for the last 2 years, I've not been able to gauge Carolina properly. But I would be surprised if Carolina covers this. This may be a game I'm going to put some action on myself. Chicago at 5.5. I understand the logic. I haven't liked the way Glennon's looked in preseason. However, Trubisky's looked good. I wouldn't be surprised if Trubisky ends up winning that job sometime during the season. It's 5.5. I still feel solid about Chicago. I could actually do a whole show on the NFC North, because I really think that this could be a division that's 10, 9, 8, 7. And I could see Chicago, Detroit, Minnesota covering, but Green Bay not covering 10.5. I still don't think they're going to cover 10.5, but I still think they're going to win the division. I think it's going to be a real interesting division. Kind of going on a rant off subject. This is a team I'm very surprised on. Tim Wallace. You and your brownies, a lot of people, this is one of the bigger numbers I've seen. It's right now, the over for the Cleveland Browns is negative 145. It's one of the biggest numbers out there right now. The public loves the Browns. I don't agree with this. I think they're about 2-4 win team. I like the defense. Some of the rookies look good. Wait till they play Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh just destroys them week 1, but the Browns are going in the right direction. I don't think they cover 4.5. The general public loves Cleveland right now, something I'm a little surprised about. Denver Broncos, for the last, almost a month, people are against Denver, and I understand the logic. You have the quarterback situation. They signed Jamal Charles. He's not been playing. But I feel very solid about Denver. In fact, I have them finishing second in the AFC West this year. One thing about Denver is that they're going to play in the nickel quite a bit. They have the 3 best corners in football, and they're playing against 3 passing teams: the Kansas City Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers. Even though the Chargers say they're going to run the ball more, They drafted a receiver at 7, and they got Phillip Rivers. That's a passing team. I don't care what kind of things you hear coming from Chargers camp. That's another team we'll hit on later. Detroit, 7.5. That's a tough number, but I like the over on Detroit. I think they're about an 8-9 win team. I could see them getting to 10 possibly. I could see them going to 7, but the public likes the under. They're very high on the under for Detroit. Stafford's very solid. They're a team that can make a very strong argument that they're better than last year. Terrell Austin's a future NFL head coach. So, again, something I disagree on. Houston at 8.5. This is kind of new, and because the public is kind of flip-flopping on it. I think if Deshaun Watson was announced the starter, I think you'd see more and more people go for the over. I think people like the big name. A lot of people don't know Tom Savage. I do. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a starter. I don't think it matters, though. They cover 8.5. They won 9 games of Osweiler. They won 9 games of Hoyer. Either one of these guys, they're going to be better. I think over 8.5 for Houston is solid. This is one I really am shocked about. The general betting public has been against me for ever since I've started this. The LA Chargers at 7.5. The over is negative 150. It's an insane number. The under is plus 130. Here's a team that's first 2 picks are out. They got a new head coach playing a soccer stadium. I do not get this. They're going to finish dead last in the division. Take 7.5. I mean, it's solid. They're not going to finish above 800. They got the talent. I'm sorry, above 500. They're not going to finish above 8 wins. They got the talent, but I don't see it happening. This one's in shock, but it's gone back and forth quite a bit due to the number. But New England at 12.5. General betting public likes the under. I bet against Tom Brady, see what happens. Even if they lose week 1, definite possibility. 13-3, I really think they're going to lose 2 games this year. Maybe 1 season opener against my Chiefs, but I'm surprised people are going against Brady in 12.5. This next one, people have been very solid against the Saints covering 8. I've been against the general betting public on this. I think they're a 9-7 team. I know they've had 3 straight years at 7-9, but this is a team that finally is sticking with the defensive coordinator. They did ship Cooks off, but they got a Ramczyk, future left tackle. I think the last preseason game, I haven't watched it yet, but I think he started at left tackle, had some ups and downs. But as far as the running game is concerned, he'll be able to start and play right away at a very high level. I feel pretty confident the Saints cover 8. I got them as a potential wild card team, but I understand the logic. 3 straight years, 7-9. But I think they're considerably better. So keep an eye out on that. The Giants went from 8.5 to 9. Right now, both are at negative 110. Technically, not a disagreement. I do like the Giants. However, I do not like the way they've looked in preseason, especially on offense. I expected more. Maybe changing my mind on this. Technically not a disagreement, but the Raiders at 9.5. This changed quite a bit. This number was pretty high yesterday, but the Raiders have been, I think part of it's the move to Vegas. People want to bet on them. But you're going to see a lot of action on the over, but I still like the under. 9.5 is a big number. Seattle, general public loves 10.5. I've been under. And 2 teams that just changed. If you haven't been listening to andrewsfootball.com, you should have. But if you're just new, you're getting on board. I've been very high on 2 teams. That's Tampa Bay and Tennessee. Hopefully you got your action in earlier because they both went up half a game. You got Tennessee, which is now at 9. They were at 8.5. Tampa Bay's at 8. They jumped up to 8.5. Really, the line should have been at 9 and 8.5 respectively instead of 8 and 8.5. Right now, it's even for the over, 120, negative 120 on the under. I still feel it's very solid, taking 9 and 8.5. Hopefully you listen to me and you realize that, you know, I know what I'm talking about. I've been very high on these teams. I still feel like Tennessee's a divisional winner. Tampa Bay, still thinking that they're a wild card. I got 2 weeks to decide. I'm going to let you know what I think about those two teams making the playoffs. Tennessee, I can almost guarantee they're going to be in the playoffs. I still got them winning the division. Same thing with Kansas City. Tampa Bay, I still got them covering 8.5. Not sure I'm going to have them in the playoffs, but again, I'm going to have more information to come. So please like and subscribe my videos. If you got any questions or suggestions, I'd love to hear from you. I want to know what you want to think, and let me know how I can expand andrewsfootball.com. So until next time.